Ooh, check out these puppies right here. Dripstone, stalactites, stalagmite. Where's the stalagmites? Oh, here's the stalagmites. Hi. These are the latest additions to Minecraft Snapshot 20W48A, which came out today, November 25th, 2020. Alongside some changes and fixes to bundles, texture swap outs, changes to freezing, and a whole mess of other things, which we'll be covering right now. Alright, so first things first, dripstone blocks. This is a regular dripstone block right here. It's got kind of a purplish pink texture to it in nature. And speaking of in nature, it's not currently spawning in nature, at least not in these snapshots as far as I'm aware. What that means is that you'll need to make sure that you're grabbing it in creative mode if you're going to grab it anywhere at all. We've got dripstone block, and then we've got pointed dripstone. And again, we'll touch on those in just a second. I'm also going to grab myself a couple different pickaxes so we can check out the mining rate of these things, huh? So you can, in fact, mine dripstone with a stone pickaxe. I suppose, can you mine it with a wooden pickaxe? We'll find out right now, huh? Wooden pickaxe does give us dripstone. They do seem to break pretty quickly. Here's what it sounds like walking on them. Listen. You know, whatever. And of course, we've got the pointed dripstone blocks, and they come in two different forms, stalagmites and stalactites. The way you can tell which one is which is you hang tight to a stalactite. And stalagmite, you just remember because you know what stalactite is. You know, whatever. Now, we're here on the Minecraft.net website where we can look at some of the specifics of the mentions of dripstone and everything else that's been had here, and we'll get to some of these in just a little bit. But for the time being, it's worth noting, neither the plain old dripstone blocks or the pointed ones are yet spawning in naturally in-game, but they do come with some very unique features. First and foremost, landing on them will actually hurt you, so we can go ahead and fall on in. I'm taking damage alert. Oh, gosh. And you can literally, wow, just jumping on them. Interesting. So you could, in theory, kind of get stuck down here. Maybe you step on one and then bang. And climbing up them seems to be a little bit of a different story. You can climb up them reasonably, and they don't seem to take damage if you're climbing up them. But if you were to fall on them, boom, big damage. And the farther the fall, the more damage you take. Now, again, this works for mobs, I suppose, seemingly, as well. Maybe if we punch one in instead, there we go. Yo, you guys suck at taking damage, worst. And they can fall as well, but you'll need to trigger them somehow in order to do it. And so we've got tridents right here that will allow us to help break them. Boom, just like that. They will fall to the ground. You'll actually be able to collect the pointed dripstone as an item. Again, let's see a replay of that. This time we'll go ahead and... Yeet! Nice. Ooh, hurt me, pain, or maybe the trident hit me instead. Let's try that one again, huh? Bang. Oh, I missed. Worst guy. Well, guys, that's why we've got extras, huh? There we go. Yeah, squashed by a falling block. So it was, in fact, the dripstone that did that. Now, worth noting, it appears as though they have the same rate of mining speed as plain old dripstone. But when you break one, you seem to break them all if you start at the top, or at least the ones that are on the ground. But if you break the bottommost one, you'll get one little singular piece there. So, as you can tell, you can get a lot of these by just hanging out with them, and you can, of course, place them. And if you place one on top of the other, well, that will allow them to grow taller and taller and taller. Although, it's curious. Is there a height limit to these things? Let's see. How far up can these... My goodness. Okay. It appears as though there is no height limit to this, so... That is worth noting. But again, they do work similarly in that if you break the bottommost one on the bottom, you'll get them all. What's more, if placed underneath water or lava, they will actually drip down bits of that water. You can see it in the particles appearing right here. And if you place a cauldron underneath, with enough time, these cauldrons will actually fill. And you'll eventually be left with a cauldron filled with lava, as well as a cauldron filled with water. Nice. And guys, you know what else is nice? The They Are Among Us skin pack with a whole bunch of custom crewmate skins available right now on the Minecraft Marketplace. Link in the description. But okay, let's move on, huh? Next up is bundle fixes. If we were to take a bundle and right-click on it in our inventory, it will now empty one single item. Just like that. We got an oak sign. In addition, you may have seen something very cool. It's a change to the tooltips that show up. You can now, at a glance, more easily see what is going on inside of these various different bundles. Again, right-clicking will remove one single item from it, just like that. You can see that that automatically updates dependent on what was removed from it. More importantly, though, if you were to enable advanced tooltips using the F3+H command on your keyboard, you can see fullness level as well. So you can see this bundle has 10 objects that are inside of it. This bundle has 3. This bundle also has 10, but if we were to right-click an item, you'll see that it now has 6 for some reason. Oh, interesting. So I guess single items make up different amounts of fullness. Each item's got a different fullness value. That is very interesting. So if we remove everything from this bundle and then put the sign in, that counts for 4 fullness. So we can now kind of get an idea of the weight of a certain object dependent on what's inside and the amount of fullness that it takes in order to add it to the bundle. So wait, are you telling me that a sign adds 4 fullness, but a whole cauldron adds 1? What? You know, it seems as though the fullness actually depends on the amount of items you can keep in a stack, because you can put 64 cauldrons in one single stack as far as I'm aware, but when it comes to signs, if we were to try and give ourselves an oak sign, they stack out at 16 instead of 64, which is 1/4 the regular stack, which means it would make sense that the quote-unquote fullness level of it is 4 times that of a cauldron, which you can have 64 of. So I wonder if we'll be able to edit that with MBT data. Well, we'll find out. But in addition to that, right-clicking while not in your inventory will empty all of the items from the bundle out of it. So check it out. Right-click, all items thrown out of the bundle, just like that. That would make for some interesting drop parties in-game. You can just hang out with your friends, put a whole bunch of stuff you're looking to give away inside of the bundle, and it will all appear, apparently, at the same exact time. Let's try that again, huh? Check it out. Right inside, right-click bundle, boom, throws them all up. The items they're not pick-upable immediately, so that's worth noting as well. Okay, next up are some texture changes that came in Snapshot 20W48A. You may have seen a couple of them already based on what you saw from the bundles that we were messing with, but we'll go ahead and spell it out for you. First of all, amethysts, candles, clocks, and compasses have all been changed. These are what the new textures look like, so feast your eyes on them. They're lovely. For clarity's sake, here's what the old textures look like. We got the compass right here. It's a little plain looking. The clock, it's very yellow and plain looking. The candles used to have multiple in one. Now they only have one candle, which is more accurate. And again, here's what the old amethysts look like. The block, the source block, or the geode block, or whatever the heck it's called. And if we go back in game over here, what we'll see is that those have been changed. Candles have been reverted to their single previous candle texture. And speaking of candles, they can now only be placed on a solid surface. So no longer can we have floating candles. Well, I mean, it is a snapshot, so they'll probably fix that. But the idea here is you can't right-click on the side and place a floating candle. You could, I suppose, place a candle and then break the block and get it floating that way, but I imagine that'll be fixed in the future at some point. It's the same way torches work. In addition, the spyglass is now a 3D item instead of the 2D sprite that we saw from before. So, we're continuing to see upgrades across the board for the textures and models of the Caves and Cliffs update. Always welcome. How about when it's held? What does it look like when held? Interesting. Yeah, cool. And on top of that, this actually happened last snapshot, but no longer do you have this circular kind of weird-looking graphic when you've got the spyglass on. Now it's more of a square one. You can see what looks like reflections from the glass of the lens on this guy. I see you. And just look at that clock in all its glory. What time is it? Well, I suppose you could say it's time to move on to the next thing, which is changes to freezing. You no longer need to wear a full set of leather armor to be immune to the freezing effect. Leather boots, do your thing. You're not going to be frozen in the same capacity any longer, even stepping right into the midst of these frozen blocks, okay? You still slow down a little bit, but that freezing effect will no longer occur. You know, last snapshot you probably saw it, the hearts would turn blue, you'd slowly take damage. No longer need to worry about that. You can use it with boots, you can use it with leggings, chest plates, helmets. So long as it's leather, you'll be good to go. But now you only need boots to avoid freezing. So let me confirm that. You might actually still get freezing if I want to make sure this is accurate. So in we go. Okay, we're gonna start freezing. We do have a leather chest plate on. Appears as though... Nope. Okay, we solid, baby. All leather works. Just wanted to make sure. But there is also a new game rule. It's do freezing, and, you know, that's cool. The official game rule is called freeze damage, and it's now set to false. So even with nothing equipped, we will still slow down a little bit. But the idea here is that despite that freeze effect, which you're seeing occurring on the sides of the screen, the corners of the screen, even though we are getting slower, if the game rule is working appropriately, we should not take damage from the actual freezing itself. And that appears to be the case. Yes, the hearts do turn blue, but we're not taking any damage whilst being inside of the powdered snow. Now, if we were to go back and actually re-enable that freeze damage, what you'll see is that will no longer be the case. So in we go. We'll quickly step right back inside here, and you'll notice in just a second when our hearts turn blue, once again, we will in fact start taking some damage for our trouble. Painful. Don't like. Get me out of here. Yes, as you saw, the game rule doesn't prevent freezing, but it does prevent the damage from it, like the no fire and no fall damage game rule as well. So, worth noting, map makers out there. Outside of what we've already covered in this video, there's a whole bunch of changes in terms of bug fixes, technical changes, things of that nature. Lava and water completely transparent, swimming and doing certain actions, yada yada yada. You can grab the snapshot for 20W48A right now by loading up your Minecraft launcher, selecting the latest snapshot option, and then loading the game up. Make sure you subscribe for the Make sure you subscribe for the latest snapshot information right as it comes out. Check out the They Are Among Us skin pack available now on the Minecraft Marketplace. And other than that, we'll see you later.